Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Your host, Joe 21 Love here with your AEW Dynamite review for another casual week in November. But alas, Dynamite was much better last week, certainly on paper, than it was last week. Certainly an improvement last week with Keith Lee, with Samoa Joe, the little thing at the end with the Mouse Man showing up again. Some good things and a better show. Certainly some disappointments, but not as big as it was last week. As what can we say? Some things to like about certainly when it comes to this week. Certainly a better vibe. But shall go over it all. Swerve and Penta, that was a fun match. Fun main event with Jay White and Mark Briscoe, but yeah, some good stuff as far as this week was concerned. And Collision also got some interesting things to look forward to on tomorrow as well. So keep with that. Although it'll be preempted, apparently it'll be taped tonight, and then tomorrow, will be, but yeah, should be good. Should be good. So, don't want to waste too much time. Guys, know the drill. If you want to be a channel member or subscriber, click the subscribe button there, wherever it is. Certainly in this area. And then, yeah. But let's get on with the show, shall we? So, excuse me. So, the show started off. First of all, I do want to give my opinion about it. Or maybe I can make sure about it, but nonetheless, I'll give a quick opinion about it. So, heard the other day, NWA was slated to get a deal with CW. And now what happened was there was apparently a suspect spot at one of their last tapings for NWA, as it was Father James Mitchell, which, loved as part of TNA, and when it was in its prime. But yeah, I enjoyed them in TNA, and there were some actors, there was some tables in the area near the fans, and there was a Coke spot, so to say, and apparently ever since then, there seems like the deal is all but lost. So there you go. Also saw a thing that NXT, may move to CW. So there you go. Anyways, so on to AEW. So MJF, he was backstage with Tony Schiavone. And he was getting called for video chat. And Adam Cole, who again is supporting that beard. So Adam Cole appeared on the big screen and basically video chat. So once again, Adam Cole, apologized about not being there, saying he wished he was there. He kills him too. Says that he should really take up Samoa Joe on his offer for his friendship and to be his partner at Full Gear. So there you go. So for the second straight week, so talked about Daniel Garcia and the events of Dynamite, and Daniel Garcia, well, basically MJF said he's going to handle Garcia, and all of a sudden we see Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker chime in, and Garcia was ticked off, and MJF point blank said, that he wants to see the professional wrestler, not sports entertainer. And Garcia said, well, tonight you're going to get a pro wrestler. So then all of a sudden they walked off. And so then Adam Cole is just blatantly still there on the big screen, and then so he gets back with Adam Cole and then says, well, he's got his match to worry about, but so then all of a sudden Roderick Strong and the Kingdom, they run in, and so MJF walks off, and Roddy's like, you see him walking off, that's exactly what the devil would do. So anyway, Adam Cole hangs up, and there you go. So Roddy still in his neck brace, still in a wheelchair, trying to the camera and says, it's time for me to show how good I really am. So then we get to what I thought was a solid opening match with Daniel Garcia and MJF for the AEW World Title. I mean, a World Title match, point blank, should be the main event of the show. I think Obviously, people will argue with that um, over Jay White and Mark Briscoe, even though Jay White is campaigning himself and has stolen the AEW World title. But there you go. So yeah, this is a good match. Garcia had a good amount of offense in. So getting to spots. So Garcia brainbuster for a near fall. JF, of course, is targeting the arm of Garcia. Garcia really showing the pro wrestler part. He hit a back suplex. MJF had a number of innovative moves. He looked like he went for a pump handle, air crash early in the match, and then hit a hammerlock DDT later here for a near fall. Good stuff. So Garcia tried for a few times, and then finally a pile driver, but only for a near fall. So Garcia locked in his big sharpshooter, aka the Dragon Tamer, and then looked like both with the arm. Plus, because his shtick, it looked like he was kind of dancing while he had the Dragon Tamer applied. So MJF counter grabbed the injured arm, locked in the salty earth armbreaker, and Garcia had no choice but to tap out. Solid win for MJF ahead of Full Gear. Did the match need to happen? No, but I will say it's good. I will say the more you see Daniel Garcia, the more he looks like he's coming into his own. You know, just like the way he handles himself. I mean, how he started with Menard and Parker to now. It's very interesting. So yeah, you like to see it. So then we got Darby Allin Singh versus the Outrunners. Pretty academic, Singh's last hurrah until Revolution. So got the win here, wasn't much. Singh locked in a Scorpion Deathlock, which got the win this time. So there you go. They got the win, and they will have be in a trios match, teaming with Adam Copeland against Lance Archer and the Righteous on Saturday. So there we go. This was a bit of fun / contract signing. So it was black and white because Tony Storm, it was her with Luther, her butler, Tony Schiavone, and Carl Ishii. So Tony called Shivani Mr. Siobhan. Um, she was kind of asking, what has happened to you? And Storm basically said, you are what's happened to me. You know, she virtually intended to walk into All In as AEW Women's Champion, but you changed that. And now she was looking to become the first ever 3-time Women's Champion. She changed that. So, I mean, you got a point. But hoping for her best performance on at Full Gear in Los Angeles. So she had saying, chin out, tits out, and watch for the shoe. And she said she'll do what she does best and beat you at Full Gear. Signed that contract. She has wiped the shoe out of Tony's hand, and there we go. So, Swerve Strickland versus Penta. Fun match. So, yeah, some good stuff. Swerve is looking more like a star each time. I'd be surprised if he does have gold in 2024. Very surprised. So, but yeah, good match with Penta. Obviously, they have history with Lucha Underground. So, Penta had offense for a good push in the match. He had backstabber, went for looked like a suicida on the outside, but caught with an uppercut by Swerve. Swerve then dropped Penta on the steps, but then Penta got the advantage back, hit a thrust kick off the apron, then hit a tope over the top. Penta back in the ring, hit Made in Japan, then a thrust kick. They hit a double clothesline, and for a double down. Penta, you can basically say, hit Keith Lee's finish. Hit a fireman's carry slam for a near fall. Then a destroyer on the apron, which, seeing a lot of. Anyway, so diving foot stomp in the ring for a near fall. Then Penta and Made in Japan again for 2. He went for a Fear Factor package power driver, but Swerve countered, hit a Death Valley driver of his own, then snapped the arm of Penta, followed with a Swerve stomp for the 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Hangman Page came in with a chair, attacked. Swerve. Security chimed in, but no avail. Then they wound up the steps, or up the stage. So, man, this was a great visual after. So, Hangman hit Swerve with a dead eye off the stage onto some tables below. And there was just a visual, of him, just rabid, just angry in the face of Hangman getting revenge on Swerve for, being in his house a couple weeks ago. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So, yeah, the rematch at Full Gear. A little disappointed it's going to be a regular match. it could still add a stipulation, but we'll see. We'll see. Ball Club Gold, they were backstage. Said, well, you know, MJF didn't really give him, or Jay White reference, didn't really give him an answer as far as Saturday nights go, saying his friends, everything, talking about there's a little bit of a poll or a little bit of a thing where, they were asking, like, okay, ask Google, how many times MJF's name has been searched and how many times has Jay White? So, yeah, there you go. Anyways, so got the main event, Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. So I can understand if people are upset that, or a little annoyed that MJF hasn't made more attempt to get his belt back. But anyways, so there's a little bit of promo for, I'm guessing, a Yakuza like video game. We had that Kenny Omega and Don Callis kind of narrating, tying into their rivalry. So, yeah, interesting. So, Kenny Omega then and Chris Jericho, they were backstage with Renee. So, they talked about their friends and friendships with Ibushi and Big Show, aka Paul White. So, Bucks then chimed in. So the Bucks chimed in, and then they went on, how Chris Jericho talked about the name of the Golden Jets and said, well, it's a good name as well, the Elite. Basically saying, Chris Jericho has kind of taken away Kenny Omega from under the Young Bucks. So they basically made a challenge for Full Gear for the Young Bucks versus Golden Jets. So Chris Jericho said, unique because it has not been addressed in weeks. So Jericho finally chimed it up saying, well, if we win that guaranteed tag team title shot of yours, which they won at Wrestle Dream early last month, they said they'll get it. The Bucks were like, okay, well, if we win, then you guys will stop teaming and maybe won't come to the realization of teaming with us again, the Elite. Kane was like, okay, he obliged and said, well, you know, maybe after his son, you guys will start acting like adults instead of sissy old children. That got pop numerous people. So there you go. We know with the Bucks, backstage and stuff. I mean, yeah. Keith Lee for Samoa Joe. Clearly, people were hyped for this, for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. So, good. This was about as much as a stalemate as it could have been, or as you expected for a while. But yeah, two big guys going at it. Good stuff. So, finally, after a few big moves, Joe was like, enough of this. So he targeted the knee of Keith Lee because, again, both big guys. So Joe is boot. I mean, Keith Lee doing a leapfrog and then hitting a crossbody and G's. So Joe got the advantage. He had a big boot, went for a senton, but Keith Lee caught him. Hey, German suplex. So there you go. So Joe came off the ropes. Keith Lee hit a pop-up powerbomb. Keith went for his ground zero finish. Actually mussed up Samoa Joe. But Joe countered, locked in the rear naked choke, kicked out the knee so that way, he could lock in the hooks. Keith Lee fought off as much as he could, but Keith Lee passed out and Samoa Joe retains. So after, now, yeah, Keith Lee not being the guy in Sao Paulo last week, and then, coming to this, although it was a very good match, people have differing opinions about it because Keith Lee lost, but it was a competitive match. They gotta do more with Keith Lee, point blank. What was interesting after was Samoa Joe got on mic and said how he's been the greatest Ring of Honor television champion all time. True, he is the longest reigning. But talked about his side says goals, says that for now he relinquishes the Ring of Honor TV title. Left in the ring, said, I did not come here to just be a TV champion. Said the next thing of gold, which will be on his shoulder, will be the AEW World Championship, whether you like it or not, Max. So there you go, and Samoa Joe left. I mean, Samoa Joe did what he could do with that title. He's now the longest reigning champion. There you go. Samoa Joe now with his sights set on the AEW World title. There you go. So, and with this storyline of the devil, who's under that mask, is interesting. Samoa Joe's help. I mean, intertwining factors here. So then we got Hook and Orange Cassidy backstage. Orange Cassidy talked about how he's not slept or anything. So, talked about all he could think about was Jon Moxley and being him after leaving him in a pool of his own blood, all out. So, talked about picking up the pieces of ones that he dropped, and that being Ray Phoenix. So the rematch, made for Gear, gonna be good. Gonna be good. Wardlow. Yeah, another vignette. Um, it's different. He had some of these squash matches. Now he's having some vignettes. It's unique. Last week he did attack MJF. It's unique. Hopefully they do it right. I mean, Wardlow has to get more momentum if he really wants a match with MJF. So, yeah. Joey Hart versus Red Velvet. Decent match here. Really about what happened afterwards. So, Red Velvet we have not seen in months. Months. So, anyways, she got thrown on the stage or ramp area. Joey Hart has a great moonsault, I will say. Not as good as EO's or etc., but nonetheless, it does the trick. It got the win over Red Velvet. Afterwards, she locked on the Heartless, and she was confronted by Sky Blue and Chris Statlander. They have a multi-woman TBS title match at Full Gear. Perhaps, these intertwining deals with these women. It's mixed. It's good and could be better, but it's interesting, I will say. But the fact is they have not done more with SAP. And, people will get more behind the women's division if there's more stories. So, yeah. RJ City announced Mariah May. So, this obviously had differing opinions. So, look, Mariah May, talented. She was in Stardom for a number of time. So, anyways, differing opinions about her debut per se. The fact is, she was in Stardom. She was in Japan, for a number of time, but clearly they're doing something with Tony Storm. I mean, Mariah May, the way it seems. Now, RJC is going to introduce Mariah May to Tony Storm. You know, they have history. They were in Stardom also together. So, I mean, something's up. But I can tell if people are there's differing opinions about her debut. But the fact is, you know, the American audience may not know her that too well. So, but once they get more accustomed to her, maybe that first pop will be some better or good. So, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Like I said, this show was an improvement of last week. Some head scratchers, but you know, was good. I'd say was good. Main event time. Main event. Very good main event between Jim White and Mark Briscoe. I remember. I think it was one of the last promos Jay did before he passed away. Sadly, it was for a match with Jay White. I think, or it might have been a couple. Anyway, so this is an interesting match. Certainly say match between Mark and Jay White. Now, Mark did challenge Jay White and basically Jay's power shot at Full Gear he was put on the line. Really why, I'm not sure. But anyway, match good. Good showing by Mark. Jay feigned the injury while for attacked by Bullet Club Gold. We also had a match. Basically a jobber match, but anyway. So, anyway, they had some exchange of strikes after a missed dropkick by Mark. Mark then came in with the offense, running forearm, neckbreaker for near fall, hit a nice fisherman buster, death valley driver, then the froggy bow, but only got a 2. Jay had a big Uranagi, followed the Kiwi Crusher for a near fall. Mark followed up, hit a big lariat. Jay hit brainbuster for a 2. Finishing sequence here was good. So, Mark went for the Jay Driller. Jay hit a half-and-half suplex followed with a big DDT. Looked like a hammerlock like a straight jacket, like DDT kind of thing. Then the Blade Runner, 1, 2, 3. Jay White wins. MJF, music played. He ambushed. Could go from behind. He was in Dynamite Diamond Ring. Bit skeptical about, but Jay White got a dodge. MJF said he hope he's had fun cosplaying as the top guy. Said that one of the big goals when he won this title was to be the greatest AEW World Champion of all time. said that for the first time in a long time, he's fighting for people other than himself. Fighting for Adam Cole. He's fighting for them who's watching. He's fighting for them, the fans. So, MJF said to Jay White, he said, you're gonna basically have to kill me to win that from me. And so, all of a sudden, the lights go out, and then carried on the big screen as masked men are shown attacking the Acclaimed backstage. And one of these masked men threw the Bowens through a glass window. So there you go. Now, again, who is it? Who's behind the masks? So the judge. Let's go back on. MJF run to the back. Went to the back. He saw the scene. So the Acclaimed, Billy Gunn, they were all laid out. MJF had his hands over his head, and Samoa Joe just chimes in the scene saying, well, yep, seems you got a problem with your friends now, huh? So, he walked off. So, seems like MJF may have to resort to taking Samoa Joe's offer. So there you go. Skipped over the John Moxley thing by accident, and the Guns, but Guns had a jobber match, against the Bollywood Boys, 1, 2, 3, ready 10 to Yuma. Nothing much. They cut a promo after. And then Moxley talked about, the kind of example he's just saying for Will Utah. If he doesn't beat the ever living piss out of Orange Cassidy. So there you go. Clearly, John Moxley's winning Saw back at Full Gear. That's given. And who MJF said he doesn't need a partner for Full Gear. Well, what's been happening, he may have to resort again. We'll see. But good episode, Dynamite, better than last week. Better vibe. Still some loopholes, but overall, a better show. And as we inch closer to Full Gear, which is a week from Saturday, or a week from tomorrow, we have to... It's going to be interesting what they do. But, yeah, Full Gear is looking nice. Got MJF, Jay White. We got that tag team match for Ring of Honor Tag Team Titles. We got Bucks versus Kenny and Jericho. Question is, will Ricky Starks and Big Bill be on the show? That's a little odd that match was made before. Anyway, the Acclaim, not doing anything. Got that trios match. Chris Gage Company versus Adam Copeland, Sting and Darby. So there you go. Yeah, some interesting stuff. But If you guys like this video, thank y'all. Leave a like. Yeah. Good episode of Dynamite. See you guys back on Sunday or Monday for the Collision review. So keep your eyes open for that. Thank you guys all. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Peace.